to our first online Johnny Happy Place art session. My name is Honorata and many of you know me from our Saturday sessions at Johnny Happy Place every Saturday between 12 and 2. Because of the situation we are facing right now, we're not able to meet, but we will carry on online, and I hope this is the way that we can still stay connected and use creativity to connect with ourselves and other people around us. So the plan is what I already kind of explained on our Facebook group. Every Saturday at 12 o'clock I will upload the video with the lesson being filmed here in my messy art room. That video you can watch on our Facebook Johnny Happy Place art group page. And then I'm there for you between 12 and 2, like every Saturday that we have done so far since September. I'll be there for 2 hours to answer any of your questions in comments under the video, to interact with you in comments, and just to share and see how your artwork looks. When we finish at 2 o'clock, I will try to collect some examples of the artwork, and then we can post that on the main Johnny Happy Place page, just to kind of keep our creativity going like we used to. So let's just get started. This is our week number 1. So this week we are creating something that I call positive message personal magazine cover. So we are using very simple technique and materials, because I'm very much conscious of the fact that people may not have many of the art materials in the house at the moment. So this is another challenge of this class, to make sure we can use things we have in the house, but we can also recycle things. So we will have to be, you know, double creative in those classes in terms of materials we can use. So this is an example of that kind of cover. There's another example here which is filmed step by step, and you will see that in a minute how it's built. So in terms of supplies, you need the glue stick or any glue you have in the house. It could be PVA glue. You need a pair of scissors, you need a black pen, you need any piece of paper that you have in the house at the moment. I had some colored paper here, but you could use just a standard white paper or paper from your paper notebook. You could be using cardboard, you could be using a back of cereal box packaging, anything will do. And then just some magazines, or just a junk email, or supermarket newsletters, anything that's got some kind of images and words in it that you can use for your magazine cover. So this is what we're going to do, and the main techniques is collage and doodling, and then you cut out your own doodles for the design and attach them to the images and combine into something completely new. I call it positive message magazine cover, because with all the negative messages we get at the moment, and upsetting and unsettling, this is something to kind of divert us from that. So here the cover I did on my first attempt is called Creativity and Connection, and it also says here learn about supporting you, because I think and I truly believe creativity is the way that you can use to support yourself. And this one here is called Great Home, so we look at some simple pleasures and simple things that can still keep us happy in our homes. So I'm going to turn the camera now. Okay, so here is our cover, the positive magazine type of cover we've been talking about. So how do we start? So let's go back to our supplies and let's discuss the first steps, how we are starting. So I'm just going to put this one away for a moment. So with your paper, I would suggest picking up something lighter, where the black pen, if you're using black pen or a blue pen, is quite visible. So this is for your doodling. This is to make those kind of drawings here that you will be cutting out later and sticking to your cover. So you're starting with loose doodling. And the best way to start, if you did some classes with me on automatic drawing, it is just to be very loose and start with the scribble. You may start thinking about patterns or shapes you want to include on your cover, but it doesn't really matter because you can always cut them out to the desired shapes. So I'm just gonna have a quick go and show you how they look, and then I will cut out a few of them so you have the idea. So let me just make sure the camera is a bit closer. So here I'm starting with some shapes, very random, a little bit like a flower or a leaf, and I'm just creating a few. I'm just going to show you the activity that is very good for starting the shapes. If you do 2 dots, and if you hold your pen not so close, so a little bit further, and just try to connect those 2 dots with lines, quite wobbly lines, in a very loose way. So this is how you get this kind of egg or leaf shape. You could do some circle shapes, you could do some lines, and it's really up to you. Okay, so on this piece of paper you're building up as many different shapes as possible. At some point you may want to stop and then go back to working with the images and then decide what you want to draw in terms of your doodles. But the most important, another important thing here when you start cutting them out is that you cut them out not precisely to the edge of the line, but leaving that white edge, because that will give us another layer of visual material when it comes to building our collage. So I'm just going to cut out this shape here to show you what I'm talking about. So you can see you have this white edge around. Okay, so this is how you could start. If you're not sure about the shapes because you rather build them when you have your images, let's go back to your images. So with images, what I'm working here today with is just one magazine, and I have little weekly which came through the post. So you could, and I encourage you to use what you have in your house, and also a junk email, something that would normally end up in your recycling bin, can be used here. So just select some magazines that you are feeling you are attracted to or drawing your attention, and start building up some collage composition. So let's have a look what I've got here in terms of this selection of the images. So this is my paper which I'll be building on. I have the hand, I have one face, I have children with ice creams, I quite like that. I have a dog, I've got the flowers from a little newsletter about Mother's Day, have a bit of colourful, that's a pillow with bed, and I have some words. So as you start collecting those images, you may start thinking about what is my cover going to be expressing, what kind of message I'm going to build from my visual material. So my first one, as you remember, was this one about creativity and connection, and I also put a text, learn about supporting you. This is like my first kind of message for transferring our in live sessions to online sessions. So still maintaining our creativity, still maintaining our connection through creativity, and by doing that we are actually learning how to support ourselves in this quite tricky and difficult time. My second one, which I've got here, is more focused on staying at home and finding happiness in simple pleasures of the home life. So I cut out the C grade home text, and I have those images which I will be combining here, and when they are combined I will come back to my drawings and cut them out and see how I can combine them into something new. I may decide when I have this image that actually something specific fit here. Let's say if I wanted to add a flower, I may decide to draw or doodle the flower, cut it out and add to the composition already here. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to switch off the camera, cut out those images to quite precise shapes, so I mainly have images, not the outlines, and I will cut out a few of the doodles and maybe create a few more, but let me just cut those ones out first and then show you how I'm progressing from that stage. Okay, so I'm back with my images. I cut them out, so you don't have to be very precise with cutting them out, but just to kind of think about how they're going to combine. Sometimes you may want to leave something behind and use that as a background. So here I just done my composition. I'm quite happy with that, and now I'm thinking what can I add with my doodles and drawing, which I'll be cutting out from another piece of paper. So I like the hand holding here. It looks like a pen, but I think it was initially a brush, so think I'm gonna add with some doodles, something coming out of this brush, or maybe even at the end of the brush here. I think I could build up the background behind the lady, and then I could add some small details like those bits, just to see how they fit around. Maybe adding something for the flowers. So when you're happy with your composition, and take your time to play with the composition, you know, you can take it, remove it, see, you know, do I want to remove that, do I want to put that somewhere else, maybe there, maybe there, maybe there. Look at some other magazine covers, how they are built up as well. It's normally the composition concentrates in this main area, and then you have text at the top, but you may want to decide to play it your way. There's no wrong or right. Unlike during our classes, we just allow for this exploration of your creative expression. So let's start with this hand. To help me to come up with the idea, I'm gonna put that one on the white page and think about what can I add here in terms of my doodles, and then I will cut it out. So if I had this hand here, what could be coming out? So I'm gonna just do maybe actually doodles itself coming out of that. Let me just put the camera closer so you can see what I'm talking about. So you have to bear in mind this is something you will be cutting out, so you can't be too detailed because that will make it quite difficult to cut out. So I'm just thinking, you know, what kind of shape it forms. So I'm quite happy with that. So I'm going to cut it out as one big shape, leaving the white edges around it. Okay, so I'm going back to my cover. The hand is here, so if I've got it here, that could be coming out of the brush, and I'm just gonna add the end of the brush here because it looks like it's missing, so I'm just gonna make it closer for you so you can see. So I'm just thinking when it's all glued to the page, this could be going this way. I just need something here so it looks like a brush. So I'm just imagine I can have that actually a bit higher. So if this is the end, okay, that will go like that. Okay, so I just wanted to show you the stage here when the images are still, they're not being glued to the page, but I'm just going with my cutouts of the drawings and doodles, and I just wanted to show you how they are changing the whole image. So this is what I've done here. I've got a few kind of roses and leaves shapes. I have our doodle coming out of the brush. And remember, your drawings can also go behind the image. They don't have to be next to it or at the front of it. They could go behind. And it is about playing up and figuring out what works and what doesn't. So play with those, with your drawings, the ones you cut out, see how you like them, and when you're happy you can glue them to the page. And there's an optional next stage, which is coming back to those drawings when they're glued to the page and expand them. So you could add additional elements to the white paper area, but you could also go beyond that and kind of merge the underneath paper with the top layer by extending the drawing across two papers. So that's another area of exploration. You could also alter the images. So here, if you've got, for example, this hand, you could add earrings, you could add outlines or additional drawing. So I'm gonna glue the images to the page, and when it's done, come back to you and just show you the option of expanding the drawing, and then we are completed. Okay, so this is where I am with this work now. I've got images glued to the page and additional elements of drawing. So now, if you really want to go a little bit further with it, there's an option, like I said, extending those drawings, and then you create more dimension on the page. So let me just see if I can do a little bit of close-up. Yeah, and I'm going to work on this kind of crown here, extending it a little bit and drawing between the white and red paper. So those are two of my finished covers, and like I just mentioned, you could carry on building up with the drawing, going and joining the different layers of the collage with drawing, adding drawing, altering certain things as well. So here I added the hat for the girl, some freckles and long eyelashes. So it is about altering. I've got glasses here, altering, building up a variety of visual material. I hope you enjoyed the class. I am looking forward to see your artwork, so post that under the video, under this video, in the comment section, and I'm really excited to see what you create. And stay connected in our Facebook group, because every Friday or before Friday I will be posting information about what kind of art materials you need for the session, and I can answer any questions you have. And if there's anything you wish to create, please let me know as well. Thank you very much. Bye bye, and see you next week.